to this year's Welsh Ornithological Society conference. Good to see everyone here. We've got to send out the conference again, and we're very grateful for your support. I'm just going to hand over to Anne for a bit of housekeeping and a couple of announcements, and then we'll kick off the AGM, get that over with as we can, and then we'll get on to the important bit, which is the thoughts.
Right, good morning everybody. Can you hear me? Is this working? Okay.
Hold this up a second.
Hold it up a bit. Okay. Bit of housekeeping. First of all, I hope everybody has found the toilets through there. Should there be a fire, we hope the kitchen doesn't have a fire at some point this morning, your exit doors are out the back and through there. Just to let you know, if you need a badge, if you haven't picked up your badge, you'll need your badge for lunch. Without a badge, no lunch. Very important. And then also to say something about the stands that we've got here today. Through the back, we have a local, small Welsh company that is producing bird boxes and bird feeders, a company called Impeccable. And Len and Joyce would really like to talk to people this weekend. They're developing a lot of their bird boxes, and they would really like to talk to people about how they can make them better. If there is a duck expert here, they would love to hear from you because they're interested in making duck nesting boxes. So please go to the back, look at what they're producing and have a chat and see what else can be done. Upstairs we've got a BTO and RSPB stands, and also we've got a sales table. Now, we have been donated quite a large number of books and DVDs. They are going for ridiculously silly prices. We have lists upstairs. We would be really grateful if you would go and have a look. All the money goes into the WASP Small Grant Scheme. And finally, the raffle. We have masses and masses of wonderful raffle prizes. People will be selling raffle tickets in the breaks and at lunchtime. They're £1 a ticket. Have been donated a large number of beautiful prizes by Derek Moore's widow Beryl. She only gave them to us last night. We were not expecting it. Do go and have a look at the raffle prizes over there. But basically, have a wonderful conference. Thank you very much.
Right, we now move to the annual general meeting for the Welsh Ornithological Society. Hopefully everyone who's a member will have been sent the agenda and the minutes of last year's meeting with the last edition of Birds in Wales. So apologies for absence. I know Rion Pritchard is in South Africa.
There's Rion, Amanda Scull, and I'm sure somebody else emailed me, and unfortunately I've forgotten to write it down and I can't remember who it is. And of course they're not here to tell me.
You'll find it, put it in a minute. Thank you. Right, the minutes of the last AGM that was in Carno. I made the mistake of being away chasing ring whistles last year, and you elected me chair. So I'm making sure I'm not missing anymore. So the minutes of the last AGM, which have been circulated, are there any comments on that, or can we have a proposer and seconder to say they are a true record of last year's AGM? No comment. Proposer, please. Somebody's there. Julian, and a seconder. Thank you very much. And any matters arising from last year's AGM? Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. Apparently we have to vote. Is that...
Are they okay?
Can I take that accepted? Accepted NEMCOM. Thank you. So I have to be guided through this. I've not done this before. Are there any matters arising? Good. Okay, Chairman's report. As usual, is the tradition that Chairman's report covers for 12 months since the last AGM rather than the financial year, which is December to December. WAS now has a 5-year development strategy. It was agreed in council last year. It's published on the website, and we'd love any comments on it. We're now about a year into its implementation. We've managed to increase our membership on target, and we've started redeveloping the website and our databases and things. Was attended Bird Fair for the first time this year. We attracted quite a few new members, and we spoke to a lot of people about WAS, about birding and bird conservation in Wales. So we're looking at repeating that next year. Our e-newsletter continues to update members on all aspects of birds in Wales, and the website's regularly updated with news as often as possible. Thanks very much to Julian for continuing to keep that going. Today we're launching the Derek Moore Young Conservationist Bursary, which will go live on the website. Julian is tweeting that as we speak. And we continue the Derek Moore Student Research Award. The 5-year strategy is reviewed every year, and we've got to say we do welcome any suggestions as to how WAS can help serve the membership of all birds in Wales. We've also been quite active this year. The small grant scheme supported 4 grants in the last 12 months, covering swifts, little-term predation, wintering twite, and breeding wheatears. There's a new application window opening in the new year, and all members and affiliates are welcome to apply. So if you do have a project you want a bit of financial help with, please check the website for the date, which is January, February? End of February. It will be open for new applications, and we are keen to support as many projects as possible. We've signed a formal agreement with BirdTrack and become a core partner with BirdTrack this year. Thanks to Ian for all his work on this. We're also looking to develop BirdTrack training sessions, and I might even go on one of those.
Will you minute that?
No, it will.
Right, we do try to respond to relevant consultations, government consultations and campaign for birds in Wales. Obviously our time is limited. 2 major issues we continue to work on that we have concern with is the continuing plight of the green white-fronted goose, although we are working very closely with various partners on that, and we have secured funding from the Welsh Government this year, which is good. But we are still concerned about the shooting of fish-eating birds as well, which is continuing to be licensed by Welsh Government with very little evidence base. We're not quite sure how to proceed with that at the moment. As part of the 5-year strategy, we also continue to develop our relationship with the affiliate members, and we continue to support the Welsh Records panel. So I'd like to thank all of you here and all our members for their continued support. We do need more help with council. We're still looking for a secretary, a bird report editor, and a website manager to help us. So if there are any volunteers, please do come and talk to us. Could I ask all members of council to stand up for a second, just so you know who we are? If you're interested in any of these posts or helping us, please speak to council, get us in any of the breaks. We are proposing a couple of changes so we can co-opt more people onto council if we need them, so thank you very much. And I'd like to thank council for all their hard work in the year and their support in my first year as chair. So thank you very much. That is my report. You can have a copy for the minutes then.
Lovely, thank you.
You've got one on email. Right, Treasurer's report.
I
Alan?
think we should have a proposal in a second that we accept your report.
Okay, we'll go through procedure. Sorry about that. Can I have a proposer, please? Stephanie, thank you. And a seconder, please. Carlton.
Oh, Carl, right.
Do we accept it? Is there a general? Do you accept my report?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Provided you go on a bird track course.
No, that's not limited. Right. Treasurer's report. Alan.
Right, well, done a slide. I said last year not to worry too much about this bottom figure because it was slightly exceptional and things would improve. So we have come out this year with a surplus of 1,196. If you do sums carefully and take the income we had in the conference and subtract the expenditure we had to make on the conference, we made about £600 or so. You can do the sum Just on the conference, so that profit was considerably, considerable contribution to that was the fact that we were in Carno, which is one of the best value halls that we go to, and it was a successful conference, so we made a bit of money.
Sorry, I can't hear you back here. Can't hear you very well back here.
Just to, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Just to say that it was the conference at Carno that contributed to the about half of the surplus. There's a reason for telling you that, which will come up in the next item. But by and large, the situation is that we are speaking to this one. The situation that by and large we are sort of broadly keeping ahead of the water, shall we say, but we are still wanting to do so much more. So I'll talk in the next item when we talk about raising the subscription. Does anybody want to make any detailed questions on anything else on the accounts? And if you want a more detailed version, I've got some copies here.
Do you want that bit as well? That's different.
Sorry?
That's the second bit.
You can have, we can have the balance sheet now. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
That just shows that we have £12,000 on the balance sheet, which is is comfortable. Sort of amount for a small society that is okay, but that can easily be eaten into if we start overspending. So so basically, financially, this society is doing okay. Yeah.
Oh, you want that all accepted and proposed and seconded?
If anybody is happy with that, do you agree that these accounts be accepted?
We have a proposer and a seconder. Keep everything formal.
Proposer Giles at the back there, thank you.
Seconder is Bob. And a vote. Everyone happy to accept the accounts? Thank you very much for Alan for keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Because all of that, what I've just said, is softening you up for this. We're holding our own, but we want each part of the activity of the society to sort of support itself. So the conference should at least break even, and other activities are basically funded by the income by the members' subscription. One of the problems we have had is that trying to keep ourselves within the budgets that we set ourselves is constrains what we want to do. And when we developed our strategy last year, there were other things we wanted to do. I mean, this birds in Wales is nice, but it's not fully colour. You know, it's not the sort of production that many other societies are able to produce just in the presentation of the report. We do this extremely cheaply, really. There are other things we want to support. We need a website. We need a good information system. So all of these things with modern technologies, we need to upgrade this stuff. At the moment, it's all done on sort of cheaply obtained software. The accounts package I used, I got off the front of a computer magazine in 1998. So we haven't been spending very much money, investing very much money in this sort of thing. And it's done the job, but you can see the point I'm trying to make. We need in the future to start getting our act a bit sharper on some of these things. And so to achieve that, we think that we need, we've got inflation coming down the line. The reports are going to cost more, and postage is going to cost more. And we haven't increased the membership for quite a long time. And if we leave it any longer, we're going to have to make a more significant increase in the future. So we're proposing that we will increase the membership to a single amount of £20 for all members. So we'll do away with the individual and family member. The issue with the family member is really the household only gets one copy. It's only posted one copy of Birds in Wales. But being a family member, it means another member of the family can come here and vote at the AGM and get the cheaper conference a deal as a member. So really, the family membership isn't, it's much better to have a simple single membership for all people and call it a household membership. We won't have a limit that must be only 2 or whatever, but the people in the household can treat themselves as members. So the proposal is that we increase membership to a flat rate. Going along with this, we will give young people under 25, can access free membership for a year, as long as they prove that they are under 25. I'll just look at their Facebook page. So that's the proposal. We move from £15 for a single, £18 for family, to £20 for everybody. And does everyone ask any questions about that? Andrew.
Slight self-interest as a family member. The new membership would cover an address.
Yes.
Right. So we're only going to get one copy of the report. Good. But
Ian has the same issue. So. You're not alone. Yeah. You and Janet are both welcome. I mean, I could just imagine this sort of large house full of people who all gang together, and about 200 in one house. I think we might have to change the rules if that occurs. But it doesn't seem to us to be an issue with our members.
I'll propose it. Thank you very much. Somebody a second. Thank you very much, Adrian. And is that accepted? Can we have a quick vote on that? So open the lights. Thank you very much indeed. Any against? Sorry.
Why don't we go online?
We do go. Birds in Wales is available online to members through the members login section. We have asked in the past, and I prefer a physical copy, and the majority of members we've asked prefer a physical copy, and we will continue to print while we.
So you want to opt out, not have a paper version?
Yeah. We are also hoping to digitise all the back copies, so they'll be available again to members through the members part of the website when we read it on the website. Right, thank you very much, Alan.
And hopefully that's all from me, folks. Goodbye.
And many thanks to Alan all his work as treasurer, because, as you'll notice, he is standing down. He's come to the end of his term, but we're keeping him on in a different role later in the agenda. Secretary's report. Mr. Spence.
As usual, there's nothing to say, just the usual stuff, minutes and whatever. And I do apologise for the errors on the agenda for this meeting. You've probably noticed them. But I'm sorry about that, but that's the way it goes. So I've got nothing more to say, but I'll go on to the editor's report, if that's all right. Creon apologises that he's not here because he's in South Africa. And I think that's a disgraceful dereliction of duty. And, what a choice. But Birds in Wales 13.1 was published in September and included 5 papers. Publication was slightly delayed as we had to wait for that complicated paper on birds of conservation concern in Wales 3. Papers are needed for next year's Birds in Wales, and Creon would be very happy to hear from anybody, any member who has plans for a paper or papers, or who knows of anybody who might be interested in writing a paper. So if you are interested or know of somebody, please email Creon or email me and I'll pass it on to him, whatever. The Welsh Bird Report for 2015 is likely to be published in January rather than December because Creon hasn't taken the work with him to South Africa for some unknown reason. And some county reports have only just become available just before he left. So this is the 7th Welsh Bird Report that he has edited, and he has said to Council quite clearly that it's the last one he's going to do. So we do need a new editor for the next one and thereon. So if anybody's interested in that as a role, Creon and the Council would love to hear from you.
Thank you very much. We now move to election of officers. Ian has come to the end of his terms. He's done 8 years, for which many thanks. So he is now standing down as secretary. We unfortunately don't have a replacement for him yet, so we are looking for a new secretary, please, because it's a constitutionally necessary post within our constitution. What I intend to do is, if you agree the changes to the constitution, the next item is co-opt Ian for another year until we can find someone to replace him, so he doesn't get off that lightly. But we do need, constitutionally, we do need a new secretary. So please, if you are interested, talk to Ian. He'll tell you what's involved. Alan has also come to the end of his terms of office, for which again we're very grateful, and is standing down as treasurer. Steve Sutcliffe has been nominated as treasurer. We haven't had anyone else, so there's not an election, but I would like to formally elect Steve as our treasurer, so if I can have a proposer, please. Carlton, thank you. And a seconder, Yellow, thank you. And is everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Alan doesn't get off that lightly. We should have a membership secretary, which is a post that hasn't been filled for a few years. So we are proposing Alan as our membership secretary, because he already runs the database anyway. So could I have a proposer? Ian, thank you. And a seconder? Stephanie, thank you. And quick show of hands, everyone's happy for Alan to continue on council. Thank you very much, and thank you, Alan, for continuing to work. Right, we now propose...
I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to do these things. Right,
There we go.
this is the next one.
Technology, wonderful. We'd like to propose a couple of very minor changes to the Constitution. The membership, the formal membership that we've already agreed the price of, but we also need to agree within the Constitution to change the categories of membership. Alan's already explained the reasons behind this, but we just need to formally make sure the Constitution is agreed by everybody. So if I could have a proposer for change of membership categories. Bob, thank you. And a seconder. Richard, thank you. And quick show of hands, everyone happy? Anyone unhappy? Good, thank you very much. And finally, for the reasons I've already touched on. At the moment, we have a constitution that allows us to co-opt, but doesn't make it clear about the exact number of members. So we have a constitution of up to 12 elected members. Council would like the powers to co-opt additional members to sort of come and learn the ropes and to find out whether they want to be formally on council in the future, and to fill some of the vacant posts such as web editor and secretary, etc. that we have. So we're just asking for powers to co-opt additional members onto council to help us where necessary. It's straightforward. Again, it's just sorting out, make sure the constitution reflects what we actually do. So could I have a yellow, thank you, and the seconder, Carlton, thank you. And quick show of hands, or everyone happy with our ability to co-opt? Thank you very much. You're all now co-opted. Date of next annual general meeting is the 4th of November at Monmouth, which coincides with Goss's what anniversary? Anyway, okay, we are at 4th of November, we are in Monmouth. So I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible there. That is the end of the AGM. Thank you very much for your patience and looking through it. And thank you very much for the council for helping us all with that. The next